Hey everybody, I'm Kendall.
And I'm Allie.
We're Gearheads here at Backcountry. Today we're talking about the best snowboards of 2025.
You can shop all these boards in our ride guide. It's right up here.
And we have chapter timestamps below so you can skip around in this video. Let's get into it. So we're gonna break this down for you guys. We have 12 boards total over 6 categories, right?
Yep, one for men, one for women for each category, and we're starting with all mountain.
Let's do it.
Okay, Kendall, what board are we looking at first?
This is our all-mountain pick for men. This is the Burton Process. This is a super popular board from Burton. It's kind of the counterpart to the Burton Custom, which is a little bit stiffer. This is, I'd say, like an all-mountain board with a little bit of like a freestyle flair. It's a Mark McMorris Pro model, and he's obviously a big freestyle guy.
Cool. What kind of length does it come in?
So this one's gonna come in 5 length options, and the cool thing about it is all of those length options have a wide version that you can do if you prefer a wider shape.
Cool. And is it like a stiff board? Is it like a little bit more soft?
So Burton rates this a 2 to 5, which sounds like a big range on their flex scale, but that's because they increase in stiffness as you go to a longer length. So the shorter lengths are gonna be closer to that 2 number, the longer lengths are gonna be closer to that 5 number.
Sick. And who's this board great for?
This board, I'd say, is just perfect for someone who really wants to do it all with one tool. It's kind of freestyle minded, like I mentioned, but it is plenty board for a little bit of powder here and there. And then if you just want to get off piste and explore regardless of the condition, it's going to be great because it's just super balanced.
So Kendall, what's the profile of this board?
So we have Camber in the middle of the board. It's Burton's Pure Pop Camber. Gives you nice energetic turns. And then in the tip and tail, we have like early rise rocker. Pretty subtle, really balanced profile to give you like that versatile performance that we talked about. Yeah.
What else is special about this board?
It has the Burton channels, which you'll need to know when you're shopping for bindings, and the graphics are also really special on this board.
3 tigers on the front.
And?
One on the back.
And is eating a dog treat. All right, Allie, we have our women's all-mountain pick here. Tell us about this board.
This is Arbor's Swoon Camber profile board for 2025. It's an all-mountain board that's great for experienced riders, but an intermediate is gonna love progressing on this board too.
Right on, yeah. Tell us about the profile here.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of camber. This is sort of like a camber specialist, like tons of pop. Like it's really gonna be responsive as you're riding, and it's got a great edge hold because of the grip tech. Yeah, so this grip tech is gonna give you a solid bite point right under your binding, so it's gonna feel super comfy even when you're on some chattery snow.
Clutch, okay, cool. And then the graphic on this one is a fun one.
Oh, it's so sick. So when it comes to this top sheet, this is your like classic Arbor style. You get to see the raw wood in its beauty underneath a nice laminate.
Totally, and the top sheet is totally different from the base. Lots of fun colors here.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
Prettiest board I've seen all day.
Okay, Allie, who would you say that this board is for?
This is gonna be an absolute favorite for someone who's riding the whole mountain. They're someone who loves corduroy, but they also like getting off piste too.
Right on, and then you mentioned this board also comes in a rocker version?
Yeah, so if you're someone who's mainly into getting into the deep snow, we have a rocker profile as well.
Sick, all right, let's jump into the next board.
Let's go. So Kendall, what are we looking at next?
Up next, we have the Bataleon Evil Twin snowboard. This is a return from last year. This is our men's park and pipe pick.
Okay, Kendall, what can you tell us about the shape? It looks pretty buttery to me.
Totally. First off, we also have Camber in this board, which is going to give you that pop you need in the park. We also have Bataleon's triple base tech, which just makes both ends like super buttery and prevents you from catching an edge. This is like a true twins shape for freestyle. And last but not least, we have Sidekick tech, which is going to give you a little bit of extra grip that you can really count on in those firmer snow conditions.
Cool. How about sizes?
So this is going to come in 4 different length options, and then it comes in 2 wide versions. That's in the 156 centimeter and the 159 centimeter. We have that 159 wide here.
All right, last question on this board. What's the flex like?
So it's a 5 out of 10 on Bataleon's flex rating, and that's going to give it like a nice forgiving feel for, you know, those freestyle maneuvers. And yeah, that's kind of a wrap on the Evil Twin. Let's check out the women's pick.
Sick.
Up next, we have the women's park and pipe board. Allie, tell us about this one.
Yeah, we're looking at Gnu Ladies Choice board. This is the Jamie Anderson Pro model.
Allie, this is one of the most unique shapes that I've ever seen. You have to tell me about it.
Yeah, so we've got camber under both feet with rocker in the middle. So this hybrid profile is going to give you nice bite under each foot, really easy to control, and then when it's time to pivot, it's nice and quick because of the rocker.
And then I also noticed that we have like an asymmetrical tip shape going here. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this asymmetrical twin has a shorter, deeper side cut on the heel side, and it's longer on the toe side. So this is gonna match your natural body mechanics and your stance to give you better control.
And that's because like the bindings actually go on like a certain way, right?
Yeah, we've got even a graphic here, heels here, so you can't mess it up.
Sick. Okay, rad. Allie, tell me about the length and the flex of this board.
Yeah, so this is a playful medium flex board. It compensates based on the length, so the shorter the board, the lower the flex, but that's gonna be balanced out by typical weight of a rider. And this is gonna be super responsive in the park, but it's still gonna be pretty forgiving too.
Right on. And then how many length options are there?
We've got 6 on this one.
Okay, lots of options. Sick. All right, Allie, sounds like a sweet board. Who would you say this one's for?
This is for any badass chick who's trying to crush it in the park. Just all the lady shredders out there.
Sweet. Let's move on to the next one. Up next, we have the women's Big Mountain Freeride board. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, we're looking at K2's Excavator. As you can see, this is gonna be a super directional board. We've got a huge nose, little swallowtail, set back stance with some directional camber. It keeps you in the driver's seat, charging hard lines.
Looks super fun to rip in the POW. Tell us about the length and the flex of this board.
Yeah, so we've got 6 lengths available. This is a unisex board, so it's gonna be covering a pretty large range. Flex-wise, it's gonna be on the stiffer side, so that's gonna keep it nice and responsive underfoot, but it's also gonna be really stable when you're going down big lines.
Overall, who would you say this board is for?
This is for like those hard chargers. Like if you are just going to the resort to lap some corduroy, probably not the board for you, but if you are hiking to the tippy toppest part of the resort, or you're going out of bounds and you're willing to carry some weight, this is the board for you.
Yeah, it makes me think like Snowbird, Jackson Hole, that kind of vibe.
Backflipping into Corbett's? Hell yeah.
Sweet, let's see what the next board is.
Okay, Kendall, which board is our men's pick?
Up next, yeah, we have the men's Big Mountain Freeride pick. It's the Capita Black Snowboard of Death, the B-Sod, as it's affectionately known. This thing's pretty gnarly, you can tell just by looking at it, but it has like a more setback stance. So this one has camber underfoot, and that camber also runs deeper into the tail for added stability, which gives it pretty good performance actually in hardpack, but then it has the Capita Wapow tail and tip shape, which give it lots of float and like ease of maneuverability in powder and deep snow back to its big mountain roots.
Okay, how about sizes for the B-Sod?
Totally, so it comes in 3 length options, and then the wide versions come in their own length options, so 6 total, technically. And then this board is a 6.5 out of 10, so kind of in that medium stiff zone to give you the best of both worlds.
Awesome, and who's it for?
This is definitely like a charger board. This definitely brings to mind places like Brighton maybe, or Snowboard, which we have locally here. But yeah, someone who wants to get into steep terrain and ride it hard, definitely. With that more directional shape, that's something you want to consider, you know, when choosing this board. Okay, you can probably already tell by the shape of this board, but now we're on to the powder picks. Tell us about this women's powder board.
Yeah, so this is Burton's Family Tree shortstop board. This is about the flattest snowboard I've ever seen in my life. We got a little bit of rocker in the tip and a really set back stance to make sure that you float on even the deepest days.
Yeah, and then we have this like cool swallowtail design going on. It's definitely a unique shape.
Definitely. Okay, yeah, so as you can see, we've got a big shovel nose, great for keeping you above the snow, no matter how deep it is. Then next, when we look at the channel system here, this is Burton's channel. If you have Burton bindings, you're good to go with this board. And as you can see, they're set pretty far back on the board. So we've got a nice little swallowtail that's gonna sink the back of the board a little bit and keep you going.
Yeah, let you really steer, pivot around.
Yep,
Yeah.
great control.
And then we got to talk about the top sheet. Nice and simple here.
Oh yeah, but let's talk about the base.
But, wow.
Beautiful.
Yes.
This is a sintered base that's gonna hold wax really well and keep you charging lines. If you're on groomers, you're gonna go pretty quick.
And it's gonna pop in clips. Okay, Allie, tell us about the lengths and the flex on this board.
Yeah, this board comes in 4 lengths, ranging from like 142 up to into the 160s. Flex-wise, it's gonna be medium to stiff, depending on your weight. It ranges from 4 to 7 on Burton's scale.
And then who would you say this board is for?
If you love powder more than anything else in this world, this is the board for you.
There it is. Let's move on to the next one.
Cool, so Kendall, this board looks pretty sick. Tell us about it.
Totally, this is the men's powder pick. This is the Jones Stratos board. Jones, typically known for their split boards. Obviously, they understand powder shapes really well, so we have a resort-focused powder board here with the Stratos, yeah.
What can you tell us about the shape?
So this is a pretty directional shape, as you can see. We have the nice big shovel up front to help you stay up and above the powder. We have a pretty far set back mount here, as you can tell, and then they also have the float pack, which is like the extra far back mount point, which is unique to Jones, which is cool. And then we have like a cool subtle swallowtail here, which will just help you push your tail down and steer the board around.
So compared to the last board we looked at, this one has a lot more profile underfoot.
Yeah, so we have some camber to work off of here. This is going to give you extra like edge grip in firmer snow conditions, and also really nice pop, so nice energetic feel.
Okay, length and flex, what are our options here?
So we have 4 like regular width length options, and then for the wide versions there are 3 options, and then for stiffness we are 7 out of 10 across the board, just a little bit stiffer to let you, stay stable in steeper conditions.
Cool, and who's this board for?
This is going to be for your powder people. It's definitely a specific tool designed just for that. And yeah, if you live in a place that gets a lot of regular snowfall, the Jones Stratos, that's the one.
Fingers crossed we get lots of snowfall this year.
Pray for snow.
Cool, let's take it out of the resort. Kendall, tell us about our men's splitboard pick.
Totally. This is the Cardiff Snowcraft. This is going to be our top pick for when you just want to adventure on your own and not worry about lift lines and all the hustle and bustle.
Cool, tell us about the shape that we're looking at.
Totally. This is a camber rocker profile. So we have camber underfoot just to give you a little bit of extra stability, even though you'll be hopefully staying in powder, which is what where the tip and tail come in. We have nice generous rocker to keep you floating around and maneuvering easily there.
Sweet, and then how about, should we talk about flex?
Totally, yeah. So this board actually comes in 6 different length options, so there's lots to choose from there. And as you go from the shorter lengths to the longer ones, we're moving from like a 5 flex all the way up to a 9. And so that's to give consistent flex feel throughout all the different lengths.
So more on the stiffer side than the softer side.
Yeah, overall I'd say it's leaning stiffer.
Who's this board for?
This is going to be for those people who are ready to either get into splitboarding, or if you're a seasoned pro, this is also going to be a really great pick. It has a Paulownia and poplar construction with carbon stringers, so that's just going to help keep the weight down so that you can move around in the mountains. But it has really good downhill performance to make you forget that you're even on a splitboard in the first place.
Sick, so like light on the uphill, feels like a regular snowboard on the downhill.
Yeah, stable on the down, exactly. We have another awesome pick for you guys here. This is the women's splitboard. So
we're looking at Weston's Rise splitboard. This is a directional board with some dominant camber. This is great for ripping steeps, sending cliff drops, landing switch, and some pow.
Moving on, do you want to tell us about like the stance of the board?
Yeah, so we're slightly set back here. This is going to keep you firmly in the driver's seat, whether you're straight lining some choppy stuff or you're surfing on some pow.
Okay, and then what about on the uphill?
Yeah, so on the uphill, the touring bracket is slightly forward instead of slightly back, and that's going to make sure that when you're doing a kick turn, it's going to keep you super stable, really great balance, improves your uphill mobility.
Okay, right on. And then here, tell us about the lengths and then the flex as well.
Lengthwise, this comes in 4 options. The flex is 6 for all of them.
Okay, so just medium stiff, right in the sweet spot there. Cool. Yep. Who would you say this board's for?
If you are looking to rip out of bounds, this is a great board for you. It's nice and lightweight, easy on the uphill, and for anyone who wants to go forth and slay pow, it's a great board.
Yeah, plus just look at the top sheet. I mean, come on.
So cute.
Right on. Let's get into our next boards. Last but not least, we have our entry-level boards. This is our women's pick. Allie, tell us about it.
Yeah, so this is Nitro's Lectra Cam Out board. It's a great entry-level board for anybody who's just getting started or looking to progress.
Shape-wise, it looks like we have a lot of camber here, right?
Yeah, this has got a really forgiving camber profile. It makes edge-to-edge transitions pretty seamless, especially when you're just starting out.
What else do we have going on with the shape here?
We've got a nice radial side cut here, so as you're developing different turn shapes, it gives you a nice predictable ride, even if it is going to be like a bigger or a smaller turn than you expected.
Alrighty, and tell us about the length options and the flex.
We've got 5 lengths available here and a nice soft flex.
Easy. Okay, cool. And overall, who's the board for?
It's for anybody who's just getting into snowboarding that is looking to not break the bank on their first board. What's really awesome about it is that it will grow with you, so you're not going to outgrow it too soon.
Sweet. Let's move on to our next one.
Awesome. Okay, Kendall, we're on to our last board. What are we looking at?
Next, we have the Ride Agenda. This is the men's entry-level pick. It's super beginner-friendly. It's a really easy to get along with shape. It's a true twin. We have some camber underfoot here to give you some extra grip.
What else do we have going on with the shape?
So here we have the quadratic side cut. So this is going to give you really predictable turn initiation, whether you're doing a short and sweet turn or if you are hanging it out doing a longer sweeping turn. either way, it works great for both.
So what are our length options for this board?
We have 7 total length options here between the regular width and then the wide versions. So there's really something for everyone. And then for flex, this is going to be a nice, forgiving, kind of beginner-friendly flex across the board.
So on the softer side?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so who is this board for?
This is for the rider who's ready to graduate from their rental board and make that first investment. And it's a board that's really going to grow with your skill level, which is nice, and it's really versatile. You can shred the whole mountain with it, so yeah.
Awesome.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's a wrap on our best snowboards of 2025. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what board you're riding for the season.
And if you have any questions about any of these boards or any snowboards that we sell, hit up a Gearhead. See you out there.